It's Lampent time. The opponent probably thinking what is on my screen. Well, trainer, it's a pretty good answer for Steelix. We respect the Earthquake. Of course, get baited with the break-in swipe. Out comes Wish Daddy Cash. And if the opponent don't know about our grass type coverage, they're about to find out. Welcome back to the channel. As you can probably tell by my voice, I am grinning ear to ear because we have the most ridiculous battle submission I have ever seen. Lampent ranked 749th on PvPoke. PvPoke actually only ranks 908 Pokemon for the Great League, so apparently it's dreadful. However, the thing is, when you're going to run such a ridiculous Pokemon, absolutely no one knows the moveset. And as you can see from the intro, we're going to catch many people sleeping. Today's battles are submitted to the channel by the one and only king of entertainment, my good friend Ty. And you know Ty doesn't like to do things by halves. So not only is Lampent looking for them big booms, ironically, we have Shadow Flygon running Boomburst, and my god is that thing a boom. Without further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1 we see their dream lead. Flygon into Lantern. Due to our Dragon ground typing, these sparks are triple resisted. The silly electric fish fires off the surf. The opponent then pivots out into Cresselia. Ty fires off the Scorching Sands, fishing for the attack drop. RNG says fuck you Ty, not today but stay in school kids. Learn to count, we catch the grass knot onto Lampent. Where it is resisted, of course Baby Girl makes her appearance. Shout out to Baby Girl. Ty stays in. The opponent doesn't build up to a future sight, so Lampent ironically can tank whatever the opponent throws. They full send the Moonblast. Moonblast doesn't get the job done. Ty gonna return fire with the Flame Burst. Flame Burst, one of the worst moves I have ever seen, but does secure the knockout. Out comes every meta abuser's favourite tin can, looking for the lock on farm down, and they get it. Ty dies at the Flame Burst, but undeterred returns with Flygon, fires off the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands goes unshielded. Both trainers hanging onto 2 Protect Shields. Ty finally invests the Protect Shield on the Focus Blast. The opponent then pivot out into Lantern, and Ty fires off the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands finally draws a Protect Shield from the opponent. Then we send out our own Cresselia. Cresselia, an absolute bulky beast, not something I feature regularly. However, when you're running these 2 super spicy picks, Ty, you are most certainly forgiven. Cresselia farms up, fires off the Grass Knot goes unshielded, getting Lantern deep into the red. Cresselia going to invest the final Protect Shield on the Thunderbolt. Cresselia should now be able to get the full Psycho Cut farm down. Registeel still has 1 Protect Shield remaining. However, Cresselia is absolutely loaded. Ty fires off the Grass Knot forces the final Protect Shield. Ty then looks to sack Flygon. The sack is unsuccessful. Registeel forced to dump a charge move. Focus Blast will secure the knockout, and Cresselia is about to be a Registeel counter confirmed. Ty, being the king of all bad manners plays, no bubbles the Moonblast and secures the dub. GG's and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see the battle of the ground types. His opponent probably thinking at worst, we're going to fire for Dragon Claw. The opponent takes this opportunity to farm up some energy, allowing Flygon to fire first. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not, get absolutely wrecked. The opponent throws their phone against the wall, uninstall the game, and that's going to be all she wrote. Moving on to the next one. Flygon into the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Bird of Death, no shot, we land another Boomburst. Oh, the opponent actually pivot out into Jellicent. Ty fires off the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands forces a Protect Shield. We then look to make the Surf Catch onto Cresselia. This is by no means a good matchup. However, it's not that bad when the opponent fire off a Bubble Beam. Trainer, why are you running Bubble Beam? Please TM it to Surf, or just don't use this stupid jellyfish. The choice is yours, but Bubble Beam definitely isn't what you're looking for. And here's a good example of why, because if the opponent would have been on Surf, Surf would have put Cresselia into Shadow Ball range. However, the opponent about to find out that stupid debuff moveset isn't the way to go. Cresselia maintains alignment back out, comes Talonflame. Talonflame gets the full Incinerate farm down. We send out Flygon. I have no doubt in my mind this is going to be a Flame Charge bait. Ty thought about calling it. Of course the opponent baits us, because people love to bait shadow Pokemon, especially when using a glass cannon. Ty now forced to double shield. The opponent then pivot out into Golbat. We're not baiting. We full send the Boomburst. Boomburst goes unshielded. The opponent near gets 1 shot. Then stay in school, kids. Learn to count. We catch the Poison Fang onto Lampent like an absolute savage. The Lamp commits the Ember farm down back out. Comes the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Bird of Death. The opponent looking to farm up to the back-to-back charge moves, allowing the Lamp to reach the Flame Burst. Flame Burst forces the final Protect Shield, and Wincon has been found. The opponent gonna take us out with the Flame Charge. However, trainer, we've got a charge move banked. Flygon wins the charge move priority event. Is the resisted Scorching Sands enough to secure the dub? Who was worried? GG's and thanks for playing. Flygon, Lantern, a beautiful lead. This opponent running charge beam. These battles are very spicy and around the 2200 elo range. So if you're in a lower elo range or newer to PvP, go on PvPoke, type in the Pokemon you want to use and you can find out its optimal moveset. Lantern can either on Spark or Water Gun, both are objectively better than Charge Beam. However, the silly electric fish gets vanquished back to their Pokeball with the Scorching Sand. They then send out Jump Bluff. Ty looking for another big boom with the Boomburst. Boomburst goes unshielded. If the opponent looks for the Bullet Seed farm down, Flygon would make a further charge move. The opponent wisely dumps Energy Ball, does secure the knockout. We send out Lampert, look for the Ember farm down, and the opponent not wanting to get farmed down, send out Alolan Marowak. It's time to find out who's the superior fire ghost type. The opponent fires off the Bone Club. Lampert actually has respectable bulk, tank that reasonably well, although Bone Club is a shit move. We fire off the Energy Ball, forcing a Protect Shield. Once again, Ty evidently's been to school, catches Bone Club number 2 onto Cresselia where it just tickles. Unfortunately, Cresselia can only hit Alolan Marowak 4 resisted on this moveset. However, Ty has a 2-to-1 shield advantage. We fire off the Moonblast. Moonblast forces the final Protect Shield. Marowak gonna return fire. Ty this time not looking to 2-shield flex, and my god, is that a very good decision as the opponent actually running Shadow Ball, and Shadow Ball would have hit for ridiculous damage. The opponent now firing nuke after nuke. We shield up the acrobatics. Cresselia gets the full Psycho Cut farm down. Back out comes Marowak. Ty fires off one Psycho Cut and the Moonblast for optimal fast move timing. Ty then looks to make a catch onto Lampent. The catch is unsuccessful, but the opponent getting so low, they're forced to dump the Bone Club. Bone Club does secure the knockout. Back out comes Cresselia. We fire off the BM Grass Knot, and that's going to be all she wrote. GG's and thanks for playing. Steelix into Flygon. Oof, these Dragon Tails are going to chunk. They're not even getting same type attack bonus, and we're already below half health. Ty fires off the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands forces a protection, will then pivot into Cresselia, and things aren't looking fantastic. Cresselia about to get that famous Steelix debuff treatment. They fire off the Break-In Swipe, pivot out into Trevenant, and Ty is going to fire off the Moonblast. Moonblast does around 50% of Trevenant's HP. The opponent goes straight for a move. They need to Shadow Ball to secure the knockout. The opponent fires off the Seed Bomb. Ty gonna get to Moonblast number 2. The opponent likely to 1-shield and farm all the way down. No, the opponent actually give up switch. Holy smokes, Ty gets his get out of jail free card. We can now realign, and my god is our lamp. Some Steelix counter. Ty respects the Earthquake, gets baited with the Break-In Swipe. The opponent then pivot out into Wish Daddy Cash. And do they know? Because if they don't know about our lamps, grass type coverage, they're about to find out. Wish Daddy Cash gets one-shot vanquished back to their Pokeball. Ty then catches the Break-In Swipe onto Flygon. We can now send back out Lampent, Ember farm down, and take that game. Ty picks up an incredible win in the next battle. Flygon into Jellicent. The opponent pivot out into Whimsicott. A shiny Whimsicott, but my god, do we have some anti-charm answer in the form of our lamp. This is only a Seed Bomb. I don't think Ty needs to respect it. Can we tank it? Of course we can. We get the full Ember farm down. The opponent send out Metachan, every basic bitch favourite meta fighter. We fire off the Flame Burst. Flame Burst forces a Protect Shield. Unfortunately, we do get double resisted counter farm down. We can now send out Cresselia to absorb all of this Metachan's energy. As I said earlier in the video, I'm not a huge fan of Cresselia, but Cresselia is such a water Metachan. I hate Metachan even more. These Ice Punches are out here looking pathetic. The opponent fire off 2, then pivot out into Jellicent. Ty fires off 1 Psycho Cut and the Grass Knot. Grass Knot forces the final Protect Shield, and Flygon now has a 2-to-no shield advantage. Cresselia even makes 1 further Grass Knot, getting this jellyfish below half health. We see the instant no shield deployed. Ty saving 2 shields for Flygon, and why not, because it's an absolute boom monster. The opponent actually bait with a Surf, so Ty pivots into Flygon, not allowing the opponent any free farm. We shield up the Surf. Ty then over farms, fires off the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands will be securing the knockout. Flygon says, feed me that basic bitch fighter. Back out comes Metachan. Metachan might think it's thick, but you, sir, aren't going to be thick enough. Boomburst vanquishes them back to their Pokeball. Get absolutely fucking wrecked. GG's. Moving on to the next one. Another Steelix lead. The opponent does us somewhat of a favour and actually pivot out, despite them having a very favourable matchup. The opponent sends out Swampert. We shield up the Hydro Cannon. Ty banks almost 100 energy and sends out Cresselia. Flygon at that much energy is certainly hunting for some booms in the end game. Cresselia can easily absorb 2 Hydro Cannons from Swampert, it looks like perhaps even 3. On the flip side, Swampert, being a water and ground type, is going to take double super effective from the Grass Knot. Grass Knot forces the first Protect Shield. Ty just going to allow Cresselia to go down. We're in the 1-to-1 shield. Hydro Cannon does secure the knockout. We send out Flygon. Flygon does farm up to 100 energy and fires off the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands forces the Protect Shield. Ty then fires off Scorching Sands. Number 2 is going to be High Swampert by Swampert. The opponent very likely to return with Steelix, but what do I know? The opponent sends out Pidgeot, and Pidgeot has no Protect Shields to hide behind. Does Boomburst. One-shot Pidgeot from full health. Bang! There it is. Shout out to Oxford U. It certainly does one-shot. Finally, Steelix does make its return, and we can send out Lampent. The opponent fires off the Breaking Swipe, lowering our attack. But does Lampent care? Probably not. We fire off the Flame Burst on the CMP tie. Flame Burst now debuffed and a shit move. Still enough to secure the dub. Let's go. Booms going off left, right and centre. Flygon Talonflame, aka the Kentucky Fried Chicken Bird of Death. Ty farms up some energy, looks to catch the potential Brave Bird onto Cresselia. Of course, Talonflame is baiting, as all Talonflame users love to bait. The opponent gonna fire off the boosted Flame Charge. We really hope the opponent pivots, as Cresselia has a dreadful matchup here. The opponent does pivot, sending out public enemy number 1, Wallface, aka Bastiodon. This stupid brick wall gonna be able to commit to the full Smackdown farm down. However, this energy is going to be absolutely useless, as Bastiodon hits like a wet noodle and Flygon does resist everything. The brick wall does get the full Smackdown farm down. Ty, recognising he can tank whatever Bastiodon wishes to throw, the opponent fires off the Flamethrower. Ty over farms, fires off the Scorching Sands. This is double super effective. It vanquishes Wallface back to their Pokeball. The opponent now sends out Meganium. Ty fires off the Scorching Sands, which would be resisted. However, the opponent chooses to shield anyway, and here comes the Lamp. The opponent build up some energy, pivot back out into Talonflame. Ty with a 2-to-1 shield advantage, fires off the Flame Burst. Flame Burst is an absolutely garbage move, but the opponent is now all shields down. Ty gonna respect the potential Brave Bird. Of course, the opponent masturbate, killing a poor defenseless cat. However, Ty will have his revenge, as we're gonna shield up the next Flame Charge, commit to the full Ember farm down. When Meganium does return, despite him having a charge move bank, they most certainly won't be winning CMP. Lampert actually has a 133 attack stat, which is a lot higher than Meganium's pathetic 111, and Ty takes the dub. Moving on to the next one. Flygon into Swampert. Flygon gonna strike first with the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands goes unshielded, and whoa, that did a lot of damage. Ty then pivots out into Cresselia to absorb the energy. Scorching Sand did get the attack drops. That Hydro Cannon does absolutely nothing. The opponent then send out the Bear Trap. Cresselia kind of neutral in this matchup. We're super bulky. The Psycho Cuts are resisted, but the Grass Knots do at least hit back for neutral. The opponent farm up to an Earthquake, which is instant no shield deployed. Earthquake lands for decent damage. It has been nerfed this season. Ty then over farms and plays to CMP. Oof. We're going to go down with a lot of energy. Rock Slide secures the knockout, and we die with a whole boatload of energy. Ty then sends in Flygon. The opponent spammed the Rock Slide. We might be glassy, but Rock Slide definitely isn't going to do a lot of damage. An easy tank for Ty. The opponent then goes for that wham bam combo play, sending out Swampert. We shield up the Hydro Cannon, commit to the full Mudshot farm down, and leave at 100 energy. The opponent likely to show their third, which is revealed to be Metachan. Ty fires off the Scorching Sand. Scorching Sand forces protection. I'm unsure if we got the attack drop, as these are 2.0 speed, and I didn't get to see. However, the second Scorching Sand forces the final protection. That one definitely did get the attack drop. We can now send out Lampent. Lampent, not the bulkiest, but as the opponent has had their attack load, we easily tank the Psychic. The opponent then looked to pivot out into Stunfisk. Ty says, thank you very much. Hi Stunfisk, bye Stunfisk. As Ty still has 1 Protect Shield, 2 high behind the opponent, going to need to reach 2 charge moves. These counters are double resisted. The opponent fires off the power up punch bait, but no master baiting. We'll be saving you today, trainer. We reached the Flame Burst, and that's going to be all she wrote. GG's and thanks for playing. In the next battle, Flygon into Tentacruel, a great lead. As ground does resist poison, the opponent pivot out into Shadowvic, and hi Shadowvic, bye Shadowvic. The Lamp comes in, gets the full Ember farm down, back out, comes Tentacruel, and we've got a very nice surprise for Tentacruel with that Grass type coverage. Grass will be hitting for neutral, Energy Ball forces a Protect Shield. Much like ground, Ghost does resist poison. So the opponent going to be forced to throw. The opponent fire off the acid spray, looking to get even more farm. Can we make the energy ball? Oof, we just die at the move. Ty then sends back in Flygon. Are they going to acid spray again? Last second Ty commits to protection. The opponent very rudely spray us in the face and then send out Haunter. Haunter definitely going to shield everything. We fire off the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands, of course, forced to protect shield. Again, we get the attack drop. You love to see it. Ty told me every day he actually praised the RNG gods and his faith is coming in clutch here. Ty fires off the Moonblast, which is resisted, but Haunter has 0 defense. Moonblast nearly one-shots the opponent on 1 HP and a dream. Gonna fire off the Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch doesn't knock out. Ty very wisely allows the opponent no farm by allowing himself to get super low. We send in Flygon. Flygon with 1 protect shield, 2 high behind, about to get sprayed in the face once again. Ty fires off the BM Boomburst, because why fucking not? GG's and thanks for playing. Of course, Scorching Sands would have been enough to get the job done, but sometimes you just got to show the opponent we've got that Boomburst nuke. In the next battle, we see Flygon into defense Deoxys. The opponent aggressively switch out into Charm, Alolan 9000. Again, the Lamp out here feasting. The opponent fires off the Weather Ball. Weather Ball is resisted, an easy tank. The Lamp gets the full Ember farm down and leaves with a residual energy, good to go. If the opponent sends out Deoxys, they're probably going to commit a Protect Shield, fearful we've got a Ghost type move. Of course we don't. Instead, the opponent send out Licky, far too thicky. We fire off the Energy Ball. The opponent gets the Lick farm down and we send out Flygon. Flygon goes straight for the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands goes unshielded and Licky, far too thicky, looking like Licky not thick enough. So I'm going to shield up the Body Slam. Can we get the full Mud Shot farm down? We're not going to know as the opponent pivots out into defense Deoxys. Ty fires off the next Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands forces a protect shield, and here comes Cresselia. This is one of the main reasons I don't use really bulky Metamon, as this is just 2 bulky psychic types firing off non-stab charge moves at each other. After 21 months of exclusively using Shadow Pokemon, I most certainly am here for a good time, not a long time. Ty fires off a Moonblast, getting defense Deoxys below a half health. Ty opts to invest his final protection, and the opponent actually bait with a Psycho Boost. Interesting. The opponent then send out Licky, far too thicky, which on very minimal HP, we fire off the Grass Knot. Grass Knot does go unshielded, back out, comes defense Deoxys. Still we're not in Thunderbolt range. Cresselia tanks it like an absolute boss. Ty farms up, fires off the Grass Knot. Grass Knot should be forcing the final Protect Shield, which it does. Ty then looks to sack Flygon. The opponent's scared. We might reach a charge move, opt to dump energy. They fire off the Psycho Boost. Cresselia comes in, reaches the Moonblast, and Moonblast is going to seal the opponent's fate, and Ty will chalk up the dub. And that unfortunately is going to draw to a close today's showcase. A huge shout out to Ty for repping some incredible Spice. I absolutely love to see Spice. I personally have only battled twice this month. The last time I did any battles in GBL was on King GBL's YouTube around 2 or 3 weeks ago, because I'm so bored of this meta. I really think Niantic need to do something to shake it up, because I've got 0 motivation to play. I've managed to hit Legend for the past 8 seasons, 6 times, only hitting Legend using Shadow Pokemon, so I really feel I've got nothing to prove. However, if you'd like to see me make a Legend push, post down below and I'll come out of retirement. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you like your battles featured on my channel, link to battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.